in the underpass. Warm, leatherette. Warm, leatherette. Warm, leatherette. Warm, leatherette. Hear the crushing steel, feel the steering wheel. Hear the crushing steel, feel the steering wheel. Warm, leatherette. 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 Warm leatherette melts on your burning flesh. You can see your reflection in the luminescent dash. Warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. A tear of petrol is in your eye. The handbrake penetrates your thigh. Quick, let's make love before you die. On warm leatherette. On warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. Warm leatherette. Join the car crash set.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.
There is a foolish superstition that some objects possess powers beyond anything human.
Thanks.
A foolish superstition.
It's really an occult matter, Dr. Martin.
was you, wasn't it? You did it.
Crash. The movie where death is in the driver's seat.
Crash. Welcome to the Drive-In Asylum double feature tonight. Our special guest is Jennifer Upton. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey.
And
Thanks
you
for
know
having me
me,
again, guys.
Yeah. We're just happy you want to keep coming back.
Oh, I love you guys.
And we love you.
Aw. Look at Vivi. Hi, Vivi.
She is just like really in need of attention right now. So I'm gonna have to put her in the credits. So let's talk about life. What's going on right now in the world, in your life?
I just recorded an episode of the Making Tarantino podcast, which Sam also did. Yeah. And it was we just yammered on forever, and he cut it down to roughly 2 hours. So that was a lot of fun. We did Lady Snowblood.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's not posted yet though, is it?
The 24th. It drops on the 24th.
Awesome.
The next week I record another podcast called Japan on Film. We'll be talking about Cure. And that's it for the rest of the year as far as appearances, I think. And then next year I'm doing a talk at the Wimbledon Film Club here locally for Throne of Blood for Shakespeare Week, which should be fun.
Did you say you were recording a podcast about The Cure?
No, not the band, the movie
Cure.
I do love The Cure though.
Show me how you do that trick.
That's exactly. What about you
Robert
guys?
Smith was a big horror movie fan. I'm sure you've seen that note that he gave to his agent of like, here's all the video nasties I want while I'm in America to watch on the tour bus.
Yes. Did know
Why
that.
hasn't he been on our show?
That would be awesome. Him or Dave Vanian from The Damned. He's really into horror movies.
Yeah.
So.
They're all welcome.
Oh yeah. 100%. That's about it, really. Just been working, You guys? Same?
Same.
Sam and I just recorded another commentary that we can't tell you about until the Blu-ray comes out.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We can say it's for Visual Vengeance, though.
We can say that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you guys, this is a bit tangential. Did you guys watch the Blu-ray of Messiah of Evil yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Sam gave it to me. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Let me grab Cubby real quick. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. There's Andy. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Andy looks like Jones from Alien.
He totally does. Yeah. He also looks like my friend Carter's cat, Chester. Rest in peace, Chester.
Chester.
Cubby.
There's
he was
the
a little sick earlier, so I'm keeping him close by. He was honking, so I want to make sure he's doing okay. If you hear a honk, that's Cubby.
Oh. So I'm really looking forward to this movie. Both of these movies are great. Excuse me. This movie I just watched for the first time last month. And I was just like, it has everything. It has like the best car chases, awesome explosions, a dog that is an assassin, a trained assassin, a possessed car, a possessed wheelchair.
That's always a good thing.
I mean, there's nothing this movie doesn't have. It's amazing. And Sue Lyon, who is gorgeous.
It was just in Evel Knievel that I watched the one with not the Evel Knievel movie he made himself, but the older Evel Knievel. The biopic.
Right, yeah, on the box set, on the
yeah.
Did you guys know that Sue Lyon was sleeping with Richard Band while they filmed Crash?
Ah,
Is that why she was in the movie?
No, not at all. Apparently, they met on the set. That's what Charles Band said in his book. That they met on the
Oh.
set.
Scandal.
Mm.
I'm sure that's never happened on a movie set before.
Oh no, never.
So that makes Crash something special. I'm sorry to all of you who are disappointed that this is not the Cronenberg Crash.
Or the Linda Carter. There's another Crash from '76 too,
Oh,
like a TV movie. It's not that one. I was like trying to find it when I was finding some of the artwork.
Did you say Linda Carter?
Richard Adler in this movie really scares me. And I'm not trying to be mean about his face, but he has an intimidating look. Like if you saw him in a dark alley, he's a little scary.
yeah.
I also like that. Not to give a spoiler for this movie, guys, but I like that there's like a greatest hits right before the end. Like they come back and have like here's all the vehicular homicide we saw earlier, and they go back through it.
It's like the Jackie Chan ending, where you get to see all the cool parts again.
I love that Jackie Chan discovered that whenever he did Cannonball Run, and Burt Reynolds was like, "These are the fun moments." Jackie's fun moments are, "Here's a hole in my head in Armor of God. Here's me falling off a cliff."
Yeah.
Like these aren't funny moments. These are like
here's Jackie being hit by a helicopter in midair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what else?
Yeah, his
about this
moments
movie?
are a little more terrifying than funny. Maybe that's his sense of humor, though. He's like, "It's funny, right?" Like, no, Jackie.
I often think that Jackie must just be in constant pain at this age.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think about that all the time, because I had heard that one of the reasons that Prince got sick at the end of his life is because he became addicted to painkillers.
That's correct.
He was in great pain from doing all those splits and dancing in high heels his whole life. And I thought, how much more? Like, you think of that as expected from somebody who's like a football player, a professional football player. You're going to have pain in your old age probably. But there are other things that I never would have thought that about a performer like a Prince.
If you look at all the leaps and jumps that he did, though, off the stacks, I mean, that's like, you should be icing yourself after that. That's athletic. I mean, it's I heard he had a hip replacement too, but what I read was that because of his religion, he didn't do anything else, but that his knees were shot and that his other hip was bad, and that's why he got addicted. Because apparently at one point Morris Day talked him into getting the one hip done, and there's nobody else. They couldn't talk to him.
Yeah, he was just one of those people you could not say no to Prince, and conversely, you couldn't make him do something that he didn't want to do.
Yeah, that's sad.
I wonder if David Lee Roth has had his knees or hips done, because he was doing splits off risers nonstop. Like that's every Van Halen video.
Well, how many times did he do it in the Jump video?
Oh, and they probably had to do that like numerous times in that video.
He made it look easy.
I remember I used to wear pajama pants as a kid and do the David Lee Roth jumps, except I was a really fat kid and I was shaking the whole house. We were talking about the noises above you. And I remember my dad came up one time and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, I had like a bandana on and I was like no shirt and jumping around. My dad's like, "Settle down." And I was like, "Okay."
I love that story.
Yeah. My dad was not. I don't know how I did it. The record also, every time I landed, the record would go, and like, this is pre-CD.
Oh God. Yeah. That's my nightmare as a DJ.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not good.
No.
And sorry to derail you with my Van Halen.
No, that's okay.
When I was in Van Halen as a kid.
Yeah. That was my favorite era.
Yeah.
It was between David and
from
Sammy.
84 to 86, you will know Heartbreak as a kid, because you're like, 1984 is the greatest album.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're never going to have another one together again.
No. Yep. I actually really liked 5150 when it came out.
Yeah.
You know, like cranking it in the
I
car.
was
like...
solidly in the Dave versus Sammy camp though. I was like could not be dissuaded. Yeah.
Okay, so you were opposed to Sammy Hagar being in Van Halen.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Okay.
I do like Sammy solo though. I was like a big fan of him solo, and I was like, but you know what? Like now that I'm older and I'm not like an edgelord, can you be an edgelord about Van Halen? Probably. Like now I'm like some of these songs are pretty good. I just didn't like him because they kind of went from like David Lee Roth. Not that he seemed dangerous, but they seemed really kind of sleazy with him in the lead. And Sammy's kind of like, hey, here's a Pepsi commercial. You know, like that's what his stuff sounds like. But it's commercially successful. I like Dave's solo albums better. I like Steve Vai a lot, and I like his first solo band with Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette. That's Show Me You're a Nerd. Name the drummer from David Lee Roth's solo band. That's what I can do.
Remember that sick burn that David Lee Roth gave after Sammy Hagar was the singer? He said, when I was the singer in Van Halen, you didn't have to spell out fuck. It was in the music.
Yeah. What's crazy is, and I've been trying to, actually, this sounds weird, but I've been trying to get an interview with David Lee Roth because at one point he was signed to do a movie for Warner Brothers. That's why Crazy from the Heat came out, the EP. And there was going to be a full movie that explained what that EP was about. And I would love to talk to him and learn what that was about. Because he's retired. He retired from performing last year and did some like interviews for it. I couldn't get through it, but yeah. So
I think Sammy's still going.
Yeah, he has a new tour going with Michael Anthony.
Does he?
Yeah, it's like Michael Anthony, John Bonham's son. I can't remember who else is playing in it. They're doing a whole Van Halen set.
Jason Bonham is so yummy. He is so yummy.
Yeah. And supposedly at one point, Dave was going to do an Eat 'Em and Smile tour with the full line, or the lineup from that album, and just do the album in its entirety. And that would have been like my dream. Yeah, Joe Satriani. Thanks, Paul. That would have been my dream if he had done it, but it didn't happen. Now he's old. He does artwork now. His website's wild because he posts artwork all the time. And
that's cool.
Artwork. That's the thing you do after you're a rock star, or
exactly.
An actor.
You paint. Yeah, that's so true.
I always kind of hoped that he would live up to what he promised in the Hot for Teacher video. At the end, it says David Roth became America's favorite game show host. I think that would have been awesome if he had followed that life.
Actually, that works. He would have been like the new Chuck Barris.
Yeah. He could have had like that crazy
That's
life.
the perfect analogy.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul. What Steve Vai left during like at some point in the Skyscraper tour, I remember, and I remember being very upset that he was in Whitesnake. Again, Travels of Young Sam. I was like, I don't like him being in this in Whitesnake. Though I do like Whitesnake, but I don't. He just doesn't make as much sense in it.
Whitesnake.
Yeah.
I am not a Whitesnake fan. I don't know why. I just think they're so super cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. But they're still,
How does David Coverdale look better now, though, than when he did when I was a kid? Like, he looks like really attractive still. Like, he has shorter hair, but he still looks like really...
He looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, he was with Tawny Katane. So, even if they're boring, he did that. She went from OJ to David Coverdale, which is pretty wild. What a jump.
Yeah.
And that baseball, was it?
Jump.
Which baseball player was she married to? Was it Jose Canseco?
She was married because no, I can't remember who, but she had been busted for abusing him too.
Yeah.
It like stabbed him with a high heel and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
It's no joke. I saw Single White Female.
Yeah.
That was good.
This is a good third segment discussion before the third segment.
It is. We're kind of sorry.
No, we're picking up on your time slot, so we're trying to.
Oh, I know. So, a little bit more about Crash. I found, if you have the images I sent you, that the German title for Crash was Dracula's Death Race, even though Dracula's not in it. And when it was
I'm still
released,
downloading the images, so give me a second.
Yeah, no, when they released it in Germany, they dubbed some of the dialogue to say, "Oh, doesn't the car look like Dracula's coffin?" Because they thought, well, we can't just, we got to mention Dracula here somewhere. And apparently the reason it was released with that title was because Death Race 2000 was released as Frankenstein's death car, which I never knew.
There's also
It's
a history of Godzilla movies being released with the Frankenstein title in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Because they were always released as if Godzilla was fighting Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, and he was creating the creatures that he was about to battle. So a lot of the Godzilla movies get like versus Frankenstein's smog monster titles, which is so like, it always, finally I had to look it up, and I don't know if that ties into it. I love the Death Race 2000 tie-in because that makes double sense, because this comes in the wake of that. This also in the US came out like scant months probably before the car.
Right. Oh.
Boom.
There you go.
Hang on. There we go.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, it's a great poster. Yeah.
This is loony. This is so loony.
Dracula's Todesrennen.
I love it. Mein Gott.
Gott in Himmel. Das Auto ist krank.
All the German I know comes from Nightcrawler and the X-Men comics, so I know God in Himmel. That's about it.
I took it in high school for 3 years.
Oh man, I took 1 year, and I also know Der Radiergummi, which is the kneaded eraser.
I took German for a number of years.
Oh.
I still can't say very much.
Well, maybe from KMFDM songs I know a little bit too.
What's this one, Jennifer? Die Killer Maschine.
Die Killer Maschine, another German poster. So I'm not sure if that's I think that's the video. Maybe it came out in Germany with another title on video, because that to me looked like a VHS cover.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find out where that came from. I just found it. And then there's an Italian poster. But yeah, that's a cool poster.
This is the one.
That looks like the Beyond.
Yeah.
Although I mean, you do see this stuff in the film, so they're not just pulling this out of thin air.
Yeah,
this is pretty awesome.
Yeah. What else have I got here? I've got the guy who did the pyrotechnics in this movie. Well, first we should ask how many people here haven't seen Crash.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of people?
Yeah, let us know in the chat if this is the first watch for you tonight.
Because this is the guy who did the pyrotechnics nickname was Three Finger Harry. Because he blew.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, he was hardcore.
He blew it off with what?
He did. And keep your eyes peeled on the gas station explosion, because apparently the car didn't stop when it was supposed to, and it ran into the wall of the next door house, the house next door. And they were like, oh, we're going to have to go over there and tell the guy, it's thousands of dollars to get, we're going to have to pay for it. The guy wasn't home. And I guess they said they did it. They said, we went over and told him, but they didn't. They just lied to Charles Band and said, yeah, maybe I forgot. And so it was just like, they never talked about it again. So,
and then that guy said, he said months later, he said to his family, let's go to the theater and see a movie. And he goes, oh my God, that's our house.
Did you hear that John Lennon and Yoko Ono were in the theater like opening weekend to see this?
That's awesome.
To see Crash?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently.
They were into it.
Well, I just think that brings them down to earth. Like, that they went to see this. Like, that's kind of awesome. Like,
yeah.
Like, they left Sean.
Yeah, May Pang wasn't going to go see this with him.
I was gonna say, wasn't Sean born by this point? And
Yeah,
they
they
had a
left Sean
couple
as
of
the
kids.
babysitter. And, let's go to a movie. This looks good.
Yeah. Oh, they probably were like,
Oh yeah,
beforehand.
For sure.
What are we gonna go see?
For sure.
Crash, man.
For sure. What was the other thing I found out about this? That all the cars, and there's a lot of cars in this movie that get destroyed. Charlie Band purchased them all, used. He didn't register any of them. So when the movie was over and the cars were destroyed, he kept getting these notices in the mail. Your failure to register this vehicle that you bought. Fine. And he owed like $8,000.
Oh my God.
And he said it took him a couple of years to finally get around to paying it back.
It's painful to watch how many beautiful cars are destroyed in this movie because they're all total like vintage stuff that would go nuts over today.
Yeah. Do you guys know what the black car is? Is it a Camaro? Because I can't quite tell. Is it a Mustang? Does anybody know? Like, I couldn't quite tell. It's not the Phantasm car.
No, because then Joe Bob would never show this. Because like that was the fake reason he picked for not showing 2. Was he's like, they blew up the Hemakuda and we can't show that.
You can't show it.
They just didn't have the rights to show it.
This is a cool car, though.
I don't have a problem with them not showing Phantasm too.
Hey.
Yeah.
I know you saw that one first.
2 is okay.
I see, but if you saw it first and you were 15 years old, you'd be like, oh, well, this makes a lot of sense.
100%.
And then you're older.
So you like 2, Jennifer?
Yeah, I like it, but not as much as 1. I mean, because I saw 1 when I was a little kid and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That orb was like nightmare fuel. It's just like...
It was so weird, like as a kid trying to wrap your head around Phantasm, because up to that point, monsters were pretty identifiable. Mm-hmm. Not everything, but most of the horror films you saw, there was like a vampire, a werewolf, or even maybe a mummy. But what was all that shit in it? It was just beautifully bizarre.
Yeah, it still is. Yeah. I saw a screening of it here quite a few years ago. For the London Film Festival, they had like a restored print. Yeah. Don Coscarelli just showed up randomly.
Oh, wow.
In West London, and the crowd just went on its feet. It was like, oh my God, he's here.
Wow.
That was great.
And he talked? I mean, he
did.
Yeah. The Q&A?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And they'd never advertised it. He just kind of randomly showed up. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. What else have we got about this movie? We've got, the dog. The Doberman in this movie, I'm not 100% sure. I'm like 98% sure. This is Zoltan from Hound of Dracula.
Oh, wow.
Filmed the same year. It's an Albert Band production. It's got Reggie Nalder and Jose Ferrer. So it's probably the same dog because they would have gone to the same animal trainer. So... And he does some of the same jumps. If you look, some of the same leaping over the.
That was his skills there.
That was his move, his signature move, where they shoot him from below and he leaps. But he's a trained assassin in this one, which is great. So
that's right up your alley. That sounds like something that you love.
I love this dog. I love. Yeah, that is. We keep showing like animals attack movies when I'm on.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just a thing that I love.
Stubby says he appreciates it. He's sick of dogs being used as ways to get bad guys over in movies. That's usually
Vivi's into it too.
Yeah. Vivi's like, representation. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It's when I used to work in TV, we had, remember those old shows in the 90s when animals attack?
Oh yeah.
When somebody was having a bad day, we used to take this one episode that had the guy getting the shit kicked out of him by the deer, and we would just put it up. We'd spool it up on all the big monitors and just watch the deer beating the shit out of this guy. And it was like cathartic. Like we just watched it at work over and over and over.
Oh man.
It was great.
Yeah.
Leif asked, "Do I like Phantasm 1?" Yes, I do. It took me like the first time I saw it, it was such a difference. I told Bill about it whenever one of the things, a spoiler for the audio we just recorded, is that I always love when people have seen the wrong movie in the wrong sequence, because my wife saw Super Mario Brothers the movie before she ever played the video game, unlike everybody else in the universe. So when she
Yeah.
played the Mario Brothers video game, she's like, "Where's Dennis Hopper? Like, this game sucks." And it's like nobody else said that. That's why I love her. And she was like, the
Aw.
game. And if you imagine, you have to put yourself in the headspace as a 10-year-old kid. The Mario Brothers game is kind of boring compared to the strange future noir Blade Runner world that the Mario Brothers movie oddly is set in that no one understands. But if that's the only world that you know, that's what you want more of. And so,
Mm.
yeah, I kind of came into that with Phantasm, where I was like, where are all the quad barreled shotguns and this stuff? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
then I had to learn that stuff. Then I started doing drugs, and I really like Phantasm 1 a lot more.
Yeah.
That's the end. That's the end explanation, right? I blame Primetime Video, my hometown video store, that only had the sequels to movies and not the original movies, which still to this day makes no sense to me.
Mm. Dan says it's a 67 Chevy Camaro convertible.
Right on, Dan. Thank you.
Mm. He saw, Paul says he saw Basket Case 2 first. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a big flashback sequence in that. That's like 30 minutes worth of Basket Case, though.
Yeah.
So
it's another one of those boogeyman situations where you get
Yeah.
both
You saw
films.
Boogeyman 2 first. You still saw Boogeyman first.
It's like a super cut.
Any of the Friday the 13th sequels were the first 15 minutes.
Oh my God. I always ask that question because you know that all three of them ran together as a triple feature when the third one came out. And I was like, can you imagine how many times you saw the same shit over and over again just for that one night?
Yep.
This is a great question in the chat from Bustle Eats. Is there a somewhat popular horror movie from the 80s back that you've never seen?
Somewhat
Good question.
popular.
Hi, Matt Bustle.
Oh.
How about you guys?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I have seen no, it's a 70s one. Never mind. I can't think of any 80s ones that popular ones that I probably haven't seen. I told Bill before, The Burning was one I was dying to see because our store never had it. So like, I had the Savini Effects book, which was how much of it was The Burning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then it took till I was in college and finding other video stores in college to see it.
Mm.
Beth, I'm sorry that you saw Rock and Roll High School Forever before Rock and Roll High School.
No, that's not okay.
Yeah, that is not. You're like, what is the big deal about this Rock and Roll High School? What
Ramones,
is going on?
Mary Warnoff.
Yeah. Mary Warnoff's
DJ
in the second one, and she's the only really good thing about it. It's like it's a big jump from like. It also makes me feel old because I hate the antics of the kids in it. Like I'm like these kids. Like I love the antics of the kids in the first one. The antics, the kids in the second one, they're just being disrespectful. This is perhaps I have grown old.
A popular 80s horror film that I have never seen is that I thought of as The Dead Zone.
Mm.
And it's a Cronenberg film.
Good movie.
That is wild.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
And Brooke Adams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love all of these people that we've mentioned so far. And Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
Enough said.
U of M, Steve King.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
David's never seen People Under the Stairs or Shocker. I think half of that you should fix, and the other half you shouldn't. You can guess which one it is.
I saw them both in the theater on opening weekend.
I went to a convention and they gave out shirts for Shocker, like a year before it came out. Like, what is Shocker? And I'm like, oh man.
I laughed so hard in the scene with the little girl in the theater that my stomach hurt. I was literally bent over. I can't believe this movie.
It's yeah, it's funny because I'm sure there was someone like, isn't this House 3 the horror show? It's the same movie. Isn't this prison? Like there's like a weird like 90s subgenre or 80s subgenre of people that were electrocuted and come back. You can include not electrocuted, but Child's Play similar too, where what's his name's killed and comes back. There's a lot, but I think it's tied into like there's like kind of like 40s and 50s kind of movies like that too, where like a killer comes back from the grave to get his people again. So that makes
Indestructible
sense.
Man was Indestructible Man
Yeah,
with
that's
Lon
what I'm
Chaney
thinking.
Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I'm thinking. Yeah,
I actually liked that. So.
Devo 13 says his girl likes Rock and Roll High School Forever more than the original. You might want to.
That's Vince Cornelius.
Oh, is it Vince? Hey, Vince. You may want to do some therapy with her. No, offense, I'm sure she's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might want to find out about that before you get any deeper.
Yeah, I honestly can't think of anything. Maybe Razorback I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that either.
Okay.
I have to correct that. That is another Nature on a Rampage film you haven't seen,
I
Jennifer?
need to see. I know. I need to see that. I need to correct that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Make this right.
Yeah. Isn't it Russell Mulcahy directed that?
I think so.
Thank you.
Not.
I remember a lot of fog, which is fine. I'm good with that. Yeah, I like. We usually get either nature or technology on the Going Wild when Jen's on. So this is exciting.
That's weird. I never even made that. I mean, I always knew the animal thing, but the technology thing, you're probably right. That's a weird connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Killdozer is one of my favorites too. So
hold that thought.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, where has Crash played?
Let's have a look.
Oh, yeah. Here's some ads for Crash.
This actually cost $300,000 to make, and it took them 3 months, which is quite a long shoot for a low-budget film.
Yeah. Did that have to do with the stunts, you think?
I'm pretty sure.
There's some amazing shit in this movie. I have to say, you're gonna love it.
There was a couple of times when I did stop it and rewound it, and then, like you said, at the end, you get to see it all again. So.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the cursed idol. There's a cursed idol in it too.
Oh wow.
It's right. Very Brady Bunch Tiki episode.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Flipper. There you go. See?
Wilderness Family is an early canon movie too. Pre Golden Globus canon that they forwarded in a lot of places.
4 Big Days. An occult object takes possession. It also takes possession of a wheelchair, not just the car, and the girl.
Well, they don't want to give too much away in the ad.
No, but the wheelchair scene is epic.
It's up there with the wheelchair scene in The Visitor. Another epic wheelchair scene.
Yeah.
Here's something that might happen in the movie. You may see cars flipped upside down with people hanging out of them. You know, I have to say, like, remastering has not done this movie any justice because you can see that everyone driving these cars is wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Oh, wow. Oh, that Return of a Man Called Horse ad, Bill. Pretty exciting.
I left this all in there because I knew that you had been like into that.
And I like that the Enforcer and Sasquatch are so close together that I would like to see a movie called The Enforcer Sasquatch, like where it's a mafia-based Sasquatch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love Sasquatch. That's like, again, one of I love 70s Bigfoot movies anyway, but.
Yeah. I love that. I do think I saw the Nomobile and King Kong together at the drive-in. It's something that's just unlocked a vital memory in my brain. So, Yeah, I think I did see those together. The No-Mobile really feels like a drive-in movie that would have played.
I don't remember that movie.
That's something I was probably taken to see when I was a child, when I would have rather been watching movies like Crash and Giant Spider Invasion.
Exactly. Yeah.
Giant Spider Invasion is fucking amazing. I love that scene where Leslie Parrish and that this would be a Leslie Parrish double feature because she's in Crash too.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Good call. Yeah.
I love that part where she's totally drunk throughout all of Crash. Her character, anyway. I have no idea if she was really drinking, but hopefully she was. There's a part where she goes to light a cigarette and she needs matches, and she goes into a drawer to get one, and a giant spider jumps out at her.
Yeah.
You think, well, how the fuck did it get in there? It was like this little drawer, and it jumped out like one of those snakes when you open the can and it jumps out. Like, that's a crafty spider.
The spiders are smart.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Steve says the No-Mobile is available to watch on Disney streaming service. I went through and watched a month of Disney live movies from that era, and I barely escaped. I could watch 30 Jess Franco movies and get through them. I don't know. The Disney movies really stopped me cold, but such is life.
I kind of get that, though.
Yeah. Oh, the ABC International Theaters bill is this is your design style right here. This ad.
You may have seen something like this in Drive-In Asylum.
Yeah.
I like the frame.
The lights. Anytime I see lights like that now, I don't think, oh, it's a marquee. I think, oh, this is something Bill would like.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for. I wanted to claim that as me.
I like that they put an occult object so big in all of these. We're like, there's still a lot of occult movies coming out. We're there. We're in this world.
But it is an occult movie, right, Jennifer?
It kind of is. Yeah, it pretty much is. It's just never entirely explained.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Also, Bill, sorry, Jen, that Tomorrow font is gorgeous too. I just was viscerally moved by how beautiful that hand-drawn Tomorrow is. I would rather it not be explained. They're like, well, the idol's sister. It'll be like the Halloween 2 explanation.
I mean, there's a loose explanation.
Yeah.
But it's still not entirely clear why it's doing what it's doing.
Yeah. Anytime I see something at a flea market or something, I'm like, this could vaguely be an occult object, I leave it where it is. I don't even try to touch it. I don't. I learned from Greg Brady.
Mm-hmm. Chris says buying a cult object at a flea market, suffer the consequences.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I may have done that. It occurs to me that I have something that looks a little like the occult statue in this movie. I'm going to have to go get it in between the films.
I got a couple of things right here, actually. People ask me about this one necklace, and I said, well, I just bought it at a charity shop. I didn't really...
Oh.
Pretty sure it's handmade.
Becca bought a cookbook at a church sale last summer, and it looked fine. It was like a 70s, like, weird food. Like, it looked perfect, right? And by the time we got it outside, all the pages turned to black and started to melt away. And I'm like, this cookbook was cursed. Let's throw it away. Let's not take it home.
Ooh.
This is a great double feature.
This one, yeah.
Yeah. AKA Demon. Oh. That's a Night of the Occult Objects. Or Space God, Alien, God is Dead movies.
Yeah. I mean, is God Told Me To really occult, or is it sci-fi?
Or is it the truth, man?
It's kind of the precursor to Phantasm in a weird way.
Yeah.
Wow. That's making my head go boom.
Yeah. I love the idea, so much of it, because it's like the coincidences that pile up in it are very Phantasm-y, where it's like, okay, the cop on the case, it ends up that his mom could be also the mother of the Messiah. Also, he might be the Messiah too. Spoiler if you haven't seen God Told Me To.
I love that. Isn't that the one that Kaufman is in the beginning?
Yeah, he's in one of the cops that goes shot without permits. When I was talking to Philip on the Tarantino podcast, Jen, we were talking about. He was telling me that they were doing Dawn of the Dead. That's one of the newest episodes that's up.
Yeah,
and he was talking about how crazy the head explosions look like, and I said, yeah, well, they did that in the street in Maniac. Like, how crazy was everybody making Maniac? Where they're like, we know Son of Sam just happened a couple months ago. Let's just fire a shotgun off in the middle of the street with no permits and blow a head up, and I'll jump back in our cars and drive away from it.
It was a freer world back then.
Yeah. Today they have all that stuff that tells you where gunshots happened. That would have all been in trouble.
People were way too familiar with it. They were like, "Oh, who cares? It's happening again."
Exactly. Yeah. Dixie Dynamite. What's that?
I think that's another car crash movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, wait. I think I know. I remember watching it.
I can just barely remember what that is. Dixie Dynamite. I've really
seen so many Roger Corman movies. That's a Lee Frost one though. Dixie Dynamite. Warren Oates is in it, and Steve McQueen is uncredited as a motorcycle driver.
Ooh.
Christopher George is in it too. Why haven't we watched this movie?
It's
a Dimension Pictures movie. Come on.
I'm totally in. If you say Christopher George, I'm like, I'm watching that. Yep.
He plays a cop, and R.G. Armstrong is in it.
I love how you bring up Christopher George every time you're on the show too. That's why we keep asking you back.
Yeah.
We're gonna do one where just you and Bill critically go through Christopher George's Playgirl spread and discuss why he sliced up that fruit so close to his member.
Him and Andrew Prine.
Yeah.
It's disturbing and yet exciting at the same time.
I just really love Christopher George's resume of horror films. There's some really good films on that list.
Anytime he shows up in a movie, I love him. Like, it makes me so much happier.
Yeah. And he's always like grizzled and mean. And it's so great.
This double feature, Bill, I hope you pulled this for me. This is a crazy double feature. Yeah. Because Trinity was like 7 years old by this point. Like, and this isn't My Name Is Still Trinity, the second one. Like, this is the first one. It came out in 1971. So, yeah, it's like 6 or 7 years old at this point.
Wow.
But exciting. Also, this ad's totally made for me because I'm like, Sue Lyon and John Carradine. I know what we're going to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
John Carradine, too. If he pops up randomly in a movie, I'm just like, oh,
yeah.
Look at him.
I was watching something on that 70s box set, and Cameron Mitchell randomly popped up in it, and I was so happy. Like, I was having a rough day at work, and I just looked at the TV, and Cameron Mitchell was in a bathtub screaming at somebody and drunk. And I was like, oh, my God, this is... how can I be in a bad mood now?
Yep. You just reminded me because you triggered a memory, Cameron Mitchell memory. I was a kid. I forget how old I was, but I had this little tiny color TV with a VCR, like not attached, but I would bring them over to my grandmother's house for New Year's so my parents could go out partying. And I would go upstairs, and the whole upstairs of the house was mine, and I would plug it in, and then I would go rent movies, and I rented the Toolbox Murders.
Oh.
I must have been 13 maybe, and I remember going down after it was over to get a sandwich, and Grandma was like, "How's your movie?" And I went, "I'm not sure."
You should have been at the drive-in with us watching it. That was one of my all-time favorite drive-in experiences where it played last year, and we were all sitting together during it and just like wowed by how awesome the Toolbox Murders. Also, how sleazy and how just all over the place it is.
Yeah, and it's got the kid from, which TV show? He was Will, wasn't he, on Land of the Lost?
Yeah.
Wesley Yore.
That was what freaked me out. I was like, damn, I did not expect that.
It's funny. I was freaked out as a 50-something man surrounded by some of my best friends. I can't imagine being a teenage girl alone in her grandmother's house watching that movie and being
that's what I mean. I was like, sort of like, huh. And then I switched over to like Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, and Boy George was singing, and I was just like, oh, and all was right with the world.
Oh. That's a way to zap you back into reality.
Yeah. Hi, Cubby.
Hello. His belly's a little upset, so I'm babying him right now.
You have to give him
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw up a little bit earlier, but he's okay right now. I think it was a lot of excitement today because Becca was gone all morning, and I'm sure he wandered all over the place without her here.
Oh.
So, yeah, everybody was gone early. We got up super early and went out for the show. And, yeah. The company name for Cubby finally did a craft show today, so pretty excited.
Oh yeah, and what's it called again?
Cubweb Creations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You can get there is a Halloween Michael Myers dog scarf if you have a dog or cat that you're like, I think my dog or cat would like a Halloween scarf. Good news. There's also Kiss ones, and
Vivi has one.
Vivi was gifted with a Kiss one the other night.
She loves Kiss.
I have to tell you, Bill, I forgot to tell you about your house. I love the state of Bill's house now where it's between Christmas and Halloween. So some rooms still have blow mold Halloween creatures, and there's like an orange spooky cast of them. And other rooms are very festive, and it's just replaced out their blow mold Halloween ones. So he's like in between the two. It's wonderful. It is like I love pulling up to Bill's house at this time of year because it's so bright. And it's just so fun. So yeah.
Did we forget to do the cocktails? I'm sorry.
No, we're gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
I was just waiting for a break in the conversation.
I gotta tell you, the second cocktail for Killdozer
is awesome.
Wipe me the fuck out. Because I was exhausted from doing the shows, and we recorded these this afternoon, and I was like, I'm gonna stay up for a little bit and do some work, and it was like NyQuil. I was like, whoa. Why would I work at this point after drinking the Killdozer cocktail?
All right, so let's get to it, shall we?
Yeah.
Crash into me. I know you love Dave Matthews.
I love DMB. I think they're the best. This is for Crash. This is the drink Cubby knows. It's called Car Wreck. That's because it's got a lot of stuff in it. It's got an ounce of peach schnapps, 2 ounces of vodka, Nikolai just holding on. That war will never end. Cruisin', half an ounce on a Sunday afternoon, high-pitched rum. We got some ounce of Chambord.
3 and 3.
3 and 3 of the orange juice and the pineapple juice. Pineapple juice brought to you by Mike Justice, who always asks for it to be in recipes. Anyway.
Why does he like it?
No, he just makes fun of me because it's in everything. Here we go. All the alcohol together. That's a lot of alcohol. That's some daddy drank alcohol. There. Then, the juices. Get your juices flowing. Now,
you want to stir first.
You want to stir. And it's easy if your wife watch you. A really nice stirring spoon with a muddler on top.
And then you want to do a dash of your hurricane-proof rum on the top.
A high-proof rum. A little float. This is the oil that's left over. It's going to be flammable.
We're not lighting anything on fire.
Oh, we're lighting it all on fire tonight. Pazuzu, everybody. Here's the first drink for Crash. That is good. That is strong.
Would Dave Matthews like it?
He would poop out a bus. Do you know about that?
No.
In Chicago, they were going over a bridge and they didn't realize that there was a boat underneath them, and they flushed the tanks of their bus into the water, and it went onto a boat filled with people.
A tour boat.
A tour boat. They all got. There's a little sign. People keep putting up signs in Chicago to commemorate, and the city keeps taking it down. This is not a Dave Matthews drink. This may be a Rusted Root drink, but maybe not.
Send me on my way.
Send me on my way. Does that joke only get over in Pittsburgh? It's in a commercial now. But Rusted Root, are they bigger than Pittsburgh? Discuss on the show. Anyway, Pazuzu.
Pazuzu, everybody.
Bill, my old office that I had in Lawrenceville was Rusted Root's practice space, and I hated being there. I was like, can we please find a different place? Once I found that out, I was like, this is bad.
I love when you bring up Rusted Root. So I'm glad it happened.
Becca loves that song, and she didn't know my complete hatred of that song. And send me away on that song. And it's in a bunch of commercials now. Jen, thank God you're not in America. You get to miss out on it.
I catch them with the VPN.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they're on there. The female lead singer of Rusted Root is a voiceover person. I'd work with her a lot. And I was like, thank God I never talked about how much I hate them. I'm like, I didn't realize that she was in that band. Yeah. So, yeah, because like one point she came to our office to do a voiceover. She's like, this is our old practice space. I'm like, you were in Rusted Root? Like, I'm like, have I ever like just gone off about how much? And I never did. So. Whew.
Hey, look, it's Pazuzu.
Oh, Pazuzu.
Hi, buddy.
Hey. He's like, I can show my face again after that movie. Coming to Peacock December 1st exclusively. Exorcist Believer.
No.
In case you want to see it.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm looking forward to Godzilla -1 though.
Yeah. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
Also, next week, guys, on my site, I told Jen already, I'll tell everybody else, on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's a kaiju day for me because of WOR showing them all day. Yeah. So there'll be every hour on Thanksgiving a different kaiju movie. I watched a ton of them. And I watched a bunch of the full moon ones and maybe the worst movies I've ever seen. I've also realized that they made one movie and shot it 3 times, like just added new scenes and changed the name of it. There's like 3 of them, Planet Patrol, and I can't remember the other 2. They're the same movie, and I'm like, and I know I've seen a lot of stuff, but it kept feeling like I think I saw this before. Yeah, Mike, I completely agree with you about Ellen Burstyn in the new Exorcist movie. I'm like, that's why they put her in this movie, really? Like, it's also a lot like I don't even want to talk about it. I'll just get upset. Let's talk about giant monsters instead. Super excited about Godzilla -1. That movie looks insane. I'm beyond excited about it.
Also wanted to give Mike Justice a shout out because I really enjoyed that short film. The Silken Beaver.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the Year of the Silken Beaver.
Yeah.
I was waiting for an in to discuss this. I highly recommended our very own Mike Justice's piece, which is, it's only about 30 minutes long. It's not asking for too much of your life. You're going to wish it was longer. I am guaranteeing it because I've watched it probably about 10 times since he put it up on YouTube. There's one part in particular, I'm not going to spoil it, but you'll know it when it happens. And I've just been rewinding and watching over and over again. In fact, it made a guest appearance in the intro for tonight's program twice. It's a scream moment. There you go. I spoiled it.
I agree with Dan. Gamera is a great monster. Gamera is probably my favorite. Because like, I think that's the idea that, you know, if you can watch movies with someone, if someone, when I was a kid, people were like, that's so dumb that he's a giant turtle. And I'm like, can you not have any like joy in your heart? Yeah, exactly. See, you know, Jen.
He's wearing his little red bow tie too tonight.
He's ready for Christmas.
He looks good.
Yeah.
You're looking good, Gamera. I'm digging it. I like this look you've got going here.
Yep, he's blue. He's got his tie on. He's all ready to go.
Are you going to take him to Tesco to go Black Friday shopping?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a British store name. That's about the only one I could pull out.
He's definitely coming with me to Tesco.
Yeah. So I don't know any other ones. This is like my knowledge. I have friends in Canada. My knowledge is just anything mentioning Kids in the Hall or SCTV.
Well, we have Aldi, but you guys have Aldi too, right?
Yeah,
we have that. So, yeah.
Yeah, Matt, I watched Destroya and Space Godzilla. I had never seen those two, and I watched those two for the day. And holy shit, Space Godzilla is awesome. I love that movie. It's again another one of those ideas where like, wait, it's just a blue Godzilla with crystals all over him. I'm like, yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're not into that, like, I don't want to talk about movies with you. I mean, that's the coolest thing.
Did you not feel sad?
Awesome,
I'm sorry. Did you not feel sad at the end of Destroya?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was like, oh
yeah. Also, there's a new game out for PS5 that has Godzilla characters and Ultraman characters in it, and it's the first time that you can cross over and play them in the same game. And pretty excited about that. If they add more, I'm like, if they add gamer characters to it, I'm like, I don't know, like how crazy is that? But yeah, you can be Destroya and you can be Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla, and then -1 Godzilla are all in it. Or the last Godzilla, what was the one? Shin Godzilla is in it.
Yeah, I didn't
And then
like
they
that
have,
one.
yeah. And then I like Shin Ultraman too. I thought Shin Ultraman was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I have a Godzilla Jr. that's just like this Gamera, the Bandai figure out in the other room. So from Destroya. He's one of the ones that when I moved here, I could only bring like a couple.
Yeah.
There's only like 3 or 4 that I brought with me. And Godzilla 2000, Junior, Gamera, and the Zuni Fetish Warrior doll from Trilogy of Terror. They all came with me.
Oh, so, I have that here somewhere. I'm looking at them right now. Vince,
did you have the one that comes in the box with that is just like the box from the movie where you open it up and there's like fake straw?
No, this one it has his own custom packaging. Vince, are you saying you don't like Inframan? Wow.
No, he likes it. He said it's hard to be better than Inframan. He came back because I was like,
okay.
Yeah, Inframan.
All right. See,
super
now
important.
all is right with the world now. I got a little confused there. I was like, of all movies, that would have been a super hot take from Vince Cornelius to really not like Inframan.
I watched actually the guy who did the creature designs and the story for Space Godzilla and Destroya has a movie called Sexy Rangers that's on Tubi. It's basically it's a Power Rangers movie about all of their powers comes from the revealing outfits that the girls members wear. It's ridiculous, but the bad girl on it looks exactly like the bad girl from Inframan. She has the skull headdress and everything. So it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's a very dumb movie, and it's also the kind of movie that I'm always playing when Becca comes downstairs while I'm working, and she's like, "What are you watching?"
Look, this is on the back of the mug.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he had his own logo. Son of Evil. That's like Pazuzu needs a tagline now.
Yeah.
As agent recommended.
Perhaps you don't know who I am. I'm Pazuzu. Yeah. My brand has been damaged somewhat in the last 6 months.
Oh.
I am the son of evil. Please recognize.
Pazuzu, have a seat in the waiting area.
Yeah.
I'm off.
I thought you were having what's her name?
Ooh, look at Jen gearing it up.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing what's her name from Suspiria talking to Pazuzu. Pazuzu, huh? What are you doing, huh?
Do it. I love it when you do that.
Your name's Pazuzu. I knew you'd come. You want to kill Elena Marcus? What you can do now, huh, Pazuzu, huh? You can make the bed bounce up and down.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, the new one really feels. I really like the movie Prisoners that came out a couple years ago, and it really feels like they were remaking Prisoners and not an Exorcist movie. And I'm like, I don't really want a police procedural for my Exorcist movie. Like, let's get to the Exorcist stuff. Let's get to the stuff I want. So, you know what I mean? I'm here for. I don't know. And now I'm thinking, it's like, did they damage the potential Beyond the Door 3 that is supposedly being made? Will people not care now because the Exorcist movie didn't do well? Don't ruin it for us. We want that new Beyond the Door.
Yeah.
Perhaps I want that more than an Exorcist movie.
Yeah, I would rather have that than another Exorcist movie because you know, I'm fine with all the Exorcist movies that have already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want, and I even like a Mock Train, which is not really a Beyond the Door movie, but that's fine.
Abby 2?
I would go see Abby 2.
Totally. In a second. Yeah.
Yeah. These are the movies I want. I want sequels of ripoffs.
Yeah. I want to know what happened to the priest that Paul Nash played in Exorcismo. I want his sequel.
I'd pay to see that too.
No, I told you about the Unsung Horrors podcast that I listened to. All their movies that they watched for October that they were going over, and the last movie they brought up was the Eerie Midnight Horror Show, aka Enter the Devil, that they had never seen before. And hearing someone get excited about it that has never seen it, it was like, if there was one movie where I'm like, I wish I could erase it from my mind and go back and see it again, that would probably be it. They were like, so like one of the Jesus statue gets down off the cross and has sex with a woman while lightning blows up a church. Yeah, it happens. It's great.
Antichrist 2, Return of Antichrist. Yeah, I'd go see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Carla Gravina in that movie. She's like trying so hard to be possessed.
And I'm not big about putting AI or CGI actors into movies, but if they do make Eerie Midnight Horror Show 2, I want an AI Ivan Rasimov, because the scenes of him just going while he's doing stuff are the greatest parts. Like, I love that.
Yeah. You could just cut those bits out and put them in the new film.
Yeah. They put them in and they just like whoop behind.
Change the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rotoscope.
We're making these are all better movies than anything that's coming out. I'm more excited about these movies that we've made up in our heads, as well as potentially Enforcer Sasquatch, which is now my new favorite idea for a movie.
I'm gonna write that.
Yeah. The Enforcer Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I almost wore my Prophecy Bear shirt tonight, and Beth put that up. I'm like, oh, I almost wore a Prophecy Bear shirt. Thank you for bringing him up. We need to keep him in the consciousness of this show.
Tourist Trap 2. I love that idea.
Back to the Tourist Trap.
Whatever happened to her? I want to see the rest of her story. She drove off in the end.
She drives off. Yeah.
Crazy.
With all her dead friends.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's on the next exit? You know what I mean? Like when they pull out, she has to go to the bathroom sometime. Like what happens then?
Well,
yeah. Okay.
Jennifer, you can get busy writing Tourist Trap 2. She turns around, goes back to the Tourist Trap, and now she's doing it. Go.
Oh. And then well, she buys a new cabin in the woods, and then Prophecy Bear comes and tries to eat her.
Yes. And then Dracula's
Enforcer Sasquatch comes and saves her, only to be killed by her at the end.
Work Dracula's dog in there and you've got a deal.
Yeah.
Bill, the last thing I'll say is that I was talking to Philip, who Jen just did the podcast with, and he, in his Dawn of the Dead episode, he was talking about how Galen Ross is also in Madman. So I sent him a text, and I'm like, Galen Ross isn't in Madman. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, I saw her in it. I'm like, no, that's not her. And like, I wasn't fucking with him, but I think he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I totally screwed up. He's so nice. And he's like, I totally screwed that up. I feel so embarrassed. I'm like, so I'd explain to him why it's not Galen Ross. And
Alexis Dubin.
Yeah. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like she wouldn't admit for years that that's her. That's Alexis Dubin. You would never ask her if she's in that movie. He goes, that's so weird. I'm like, yeah. Like it
was a non-union production.
Yeah. So so I had to apologize to him. I'm like, I'm not making fun of you for not knowing this. I said it's Bill and I have discussed this so many times that it's a go-to with Bill and I all the time.
She could have lost her SAG card for doing that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't say it was me either. I'd be like, that's not me. I didn't show my boobs in Madman.
Yeah. I love John Streicher's idea that Slauson isn't dead. Bo Hopkins is in it is Slauson instead of Chuck Hunt. Good idea.
That's solid.
He's really good in Pancho Villa, Bill, that I watched, by the way, which is made by this entire same crew that did Horror Express with some of the same trains. How weird is that? Like they literally shot it right after, and it also ends with a train crash. And I realized I've seen how many Philip Jordan movies, speaking of Night Train to Terror, that end with trains crashing into each other. It's like he has a whole like subgenre within his own films where this happens.
We hope you did a cut of shrooms before tonight's first feature, Crash, which is going to be fucking amazing. If you've never seen it before, you are in for an experience. I posted the link on Groovy Doom. It's on Freevee. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a free Amazon Prime video. You may have to sign up for it. So we'll give it you a couple extra minutes before we come back for the second feature.
Yeah.
In case you have to set up freebie, but it's free. You don't end up having to pay anything. If you have an Amazon account, it'll already be set up. So,
and it used to be IMDb TV freebie. So if you have it on your Roku already from then, you should probably have it if you're watching through Roku. Hey, Roger.
It's on Roku too. Yeah, it's
on Roku channel. Yeah, that's another place you can watch it.
Yeah. So if that's how we hope that's how you're watching the show tonight. You know, Mark Jock.
If you're watching on Roku, huh?
Chip Lamy, you know, a lot of people watch it on YouTube and put it on a big screen TV. So
yeah,
you love feeling legit like that.
It used to be on Tubi, but they pulled it.
Yeah, I know. Like recently, up until like a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
I think it was in the Full Moon lineup of stuff because they have like so many Full Moon movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full Moon has the weirdest stuff that they'll randomly have like 2 or 3 Jess Franco German movies that he did. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, why do you have this? And why is it the worst quality transfer of it ever? And yet you're still selling it. But there it is.
I wanna talk a little bit about the 2 Jess Franco cannibal movies I watched for Driving Asylum, the print edition, when we come back.
Yeah, let's get to the movie.
Yeah.
All I had to hear was Jess Franco cannibal, much less 2 of them. Now I can't wait.
Watched 2 in a row.
That's a whole can of worms you just opened up, Jen.
I know. I'm gonna hold it.
You see my eyes just. So...
Yeah. Second segment. Enjoy this, everybody.
Really hope you dig it. We dig it. We'll be back to talk more after Crash on the Driving Asylum double feature. So meet you back here in about an hour and a half.